Hey everybody, it's Dana with Engadget. I am fresh off a super busy, super long day at Apple's WWDC. The good news is I took home an iMac. The bad news is it is not the fancy space gray iMac Pro that you guys were all super excited about. That arrives in December. Fun fact, if you do ever buy an iMac, it does ship in this really unique shaped box. The only time in my life I've ever received a box like this has been when I've been unboxing an iMac, which in my line of work happens every couple years. Using scissors, not the way they teach you to in preschool. Get ready, kids, we have a box within a box. So guys, I'm not quite used to doing this alone. There often comes a point when I'm unboxing iMacs when it becomes a two-person job. I kind of feel like as I drop stuff, I'm like the Julia Child of unboxings. Here I go. So I'm revealing the chassis here, which, spoiler, is the same chassis as before. The same slim profile, regardless of whether you get the 21.5 inch or the 27 inch. In terms of the ports, it's almost the same as before, except there are now 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports instead of 1. Otherwise, you get 4 USB 3 ports, you get an SDXC card reader, you get an Ethernet jack, and you get a headphone port. So we've got 2 keyboards. The default is still the classic Magic keyboard, the one without the number pad. So here we have the Magic keyboard with the number pad. If you're curious, this is the packaging. The thing about this keyboard that Apple has been selling forever is that it really is compact, almost ridiculously compact considering it lives on a desk. You've always probably been able to do with a bigger keyboard, so you probably have space for this. Just the question is, do you need this number pad? Apparently a lot of professionals do, but it's not as if this number keyboard is going to come standard. This is still the default option, and if you want this, you're going to have to choose it while configuring your order online. Also, this one costs $30 more, which I don't think is going to be a deal breaker for people who really want it, but introducing a numerical keyboard that is sort of the same as this, but costs $30 more, Apple can maybe chill on that a little bit. So now that we have the machine plugged in and fully set up, I'm going to walk you through just a few of the differences. Probably the most obvious to some will be the display. Apple says that this is a 43% brighter panel. It's 500 nits now, and it supports 1 billion colors. To me, coming from an existing iMac that I still have on my desk, the difference in screen quality is actually pretty subtle. But a colleague here in the office saw it, and immediately he just commented on how bright the screen is. He said it was like a punch in the face. For me, what's more obvious are some of the performance improvements. Last time around, when I reviewed the iMac in late 2015, I complained that Apple was still making spinning hard drive standard on a lot of its iMacs. And that's still true, but to a lesser extent. Now most of the line comes standard with a so-called Fusion drive. So that's Apple's hard drive, that hybrid drive that makes use of a solid-state drive as well. And for me, just basic operation feels faster and more fluid. I can launch apps faster, I can juggle more apps without feeling like I have to choose. I can get going faster when I boot up the machine. There are fresh processors inside, fresh graphics, and more RAM is available as an option. And just for the folks at home, we did run some benchmarks, including Xbench, including Geekbench 4. But just to be clear, we enjoy running these tests, but we don't see this as the be-all and end-all of performance testing. So all told, the new iMac is an iMac. We liked it a lot before, and I like it now, maybe even slightly better because of the specs that are being offered now for the money. Professionals, I would say, might have a tough choice. I think a lot of folks might still opt to at least wait until the iMac Pro comes out in December and see what it has to offer. Well guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been our quick look at the new iMac. Check back at Engadget soon because we're going to have a lot more coming on other Apple products and other Apple software. So just stay tuned. There's a lot more in the pipeline.